Live streaming. Hello, everybody. How are we doing? We're back for writing part two, and we are talking about writing a conclusion, a strong conclusion. And I have a paper where I'd actually like for you to write. Feel free to just write the responses on a plain sheet of paper or email me your response. I'd love to see your writing. Um, we have tests every month, and if the reading and writing are what's holding you back, let's get it. And we're also available for in-person tutoring. Let us know. Let me know. My phone number and email is the classroom posted on every single lesson. So let me hear from you. So today, as I said, we're going to be talking about conclusion. So let's take a look at what makes a strong conclusion. I'm going to share this screen with you right here. Okay, so you want to be silly. Fine. Let me do it this way. Okay, a conclusion should give a sense of completeness and closure. A conclusion should show the lingering possibilities of the topic and its larger meanings and implications. A conclusion should close the discussion without closing it off. What do we mean by that? That we're concluding what we're speaking about, but we could talk about it further. So you don't just shut it down abruptly. We'll work on that. We'll show you what we mean by that. And we should stress the importance of the thesis, which was our main idea, right? And the conclusion should always leave a final impression. You've said something, you had something important to say. Okay, where's my going back over here? So take a look at um, a concluding sentence. Let's look at what this has to say. An example of this, he says, is television. When television became the dominant medium in the 1950s, it changed the way families interacted. Make that a little bigger for you. Family members began to sit in front of the TV rather than to face each other to talk. That was the beginning of the end. The people on the television spoke and the viewers listened. In this one way type of communication, only the people on TV had power, only they had a voice. What does the concluding sentence in italics do? It gives the author's point of view, it expresses the main idea, or talks about what will happen. He just told us about how TV began to change the way people communicated, right? So the only voice in the room was the what? People on the TV. So I think that what tells us the author's point of view. So according to someone named Wesh, activities such as, okay, we're not going to do that. Oh, this is another reading. According to Wesh, activities such as the role play exercise help to prepare students to be active and responsible members of society. I ask students not to think about what the new media was designed for, but how they can use it for something else. A great example, he believes, is social media. It was created to help friends connect, but now it also allows people to share and collaborate, work together on projects. So, what does the concluding sentence in italics? It was created. It does what? Talks about what will happen. It expresses the main idea, or it gives the author's point of view. It was created to help friends connect, but now it also allows people to share and collaborate. So he's talking about activities to prepare people to be active and responsible members of society. So not to think about what media was designed for, but how you can use it. And it was created for one purpose, but it now does something else. Is a great example of how you can use it. So does it talk about what will happen, express the main idea, or give the author's point of view? Gives the author's point of view, right? Of why media was first created and now what we can do with it. Okay, let's look at this one together. Keene liked the idea, and he and James shared their website, tribewanted.com. Then they began looking for an island for their tribe. Around the same time, Tui Mali, the chief of a tribe in Fiji, wanted jobs and money for his people. He owned a small island called Vorovoro. The main islands of Fiji were becoming very modern, but Vorovoro was not. On Vorovoro, a few people had cells or worked on one of the main islands, but most lived in very small, simple homes with no electricity or running water. So, what is that? It gives the author's point of view. Is that someone's opinion? Not really. Does it express the main idea? Um, yeah, I think so. Does it talk about what will happen? No. And that's the main idea that people lived very simply on Vorovoro. That was an island in which people lived very simply. They didn't have a lot of cell phones. Um, there was no electricity or running water. So we can start, those were good enough to give us an idea what a concluding sentence does. It's supposed to just bring everything home. So, what I want you to do now um, is to look at this next worksheet. And this is where if you choose to do this work, it gives you some good writing experience. This is a conclusion checklist. And a conclusion is an important part of an essay or any other type of written piece. It should include a restatement of the thesis, a review of the main points, and then in other appropriate points. So this is a writing template. So what you're doing is you're actually writing a passage, and then you're using a checklist to make sure you've written a strong conclusion. Now, if you look at this, it has no answers on the key because your answers are going to vary. But let's take a look, and I'm going to read you a little bit of what I wrote, and then I would like you to write something. So, where in the world would you like to visit? It is a big world with lots to do and see. Where in the world would you like to go? So, here are some clues. What would you like to do when you get there? Why do you want to go there? And what would you see that is interesting? Well, this tells you what to put in your writing. I'm going to read you a little bit of the one that I wrote. Okay. Even though I have been once before, I would love to visit New Orleans. There is so much art, beauty, and history. I feel like I never have enough time to see it all. It's my favorite city. Main point one. New Orleans birthed jazz. Formerly enslaved people used African rhythms, drums with European horns to create a new genre of music. Point two, architecture. The architecture is a blend of French, Spanish, and Caribbean styles. Even the cemeteries are beautiful and are above ground. The area is slightly tropical and houses many varieties of plants and animals. The Creole people are of African, Spanish, French, and Italian descent, and they are stunning. Point number three, New Orleans was ruled by the French and then by Spain. The United States bought the city in 1803. African Americans have a long history as being free and enslaved and made great contributions there. And in conclusion, New Orleans is a city rich in culture and history. There is so much to experience that a short trip won't do. It is made up of the richness of the variety of races, history, cultures, and cultures of many people. It is truly my favorite city. So, how did I restate my thesis? I said that New Orleans is my favorite city, and I just reworded it. How did I review my main points? For every point that I made, I had to write examples. Main point number one, okay, I started out telling you what I was going to talk about in my introduction: art, beauty, and history. So, point one, I talk about art. In point two, I talk about the beauty. And in point three, I talk about the history. And so, in my conclusion, I did not put any other points in my conclusion. I just brought it all together and restated my main idea. So that's what you're going to do. If you are so interested, you're not required. But this is our lesson for today, and I'll see you at 11:30 for science. Take care.